So in our campaign section, this is where we're going to send general emails. Okay, so this is, we might have a weekly newsletter that we can set up. So in my case here, I'll have a weekly blog update here. And if I just update that there, it's based on an RSS trigger. So we can send it to anything we want. We can set it to a standard, split testing, date-based, various things like that. But I've just got an RSS trigger here. And we just basically click along. We select our list. We can then segment that list as well. So we can do some advanced things, like if I edit this list here, this segment, you'll see that even though I've selected my company list, I'm then segmenting it down by checking that the newsletter will only get applied to clients that have a tag. So tag exists of this tag, which is basically new client complete. So what I'm doing is when I get a new client, I run them through an automation sequence that basically introduces them, sends them a series of emails, and I don't want to muddy that up by sending them a newsletter at the same time. So until they've finished that process, they won't get any newsletters. But as soon as they've completed that process and they get this tag applied, they are then eligible to receive the newsletter that comes out every week or whenever it comes out. But then I've also got an and statement here that says, and the tag does not exist for no email. So if you get a client that you want to keep in your list, but they don't want to receive any emails for some reason, they just don't like getting emails, but you want to keep them on the list for other reasons, which I'll show you later, then I've got a tag here that says no email. So that client will not get sent it because I've got this does not exist tag. So once it breaks that down, then you obviously can come in further and then you'll start to see your design for your actual email. So for instance, I've got a logo here, I've got some text, and then I've got my RSS feed. So this is basically taking an RSS feed off my main website. So whenever I create a blog post, it grabs that RSS feed, puts it in here as a summary, and will send it out as a newsletter to my email list, informing them of the new blog post entry. And then you can add anything you want. So I can add a sales pitch to the bottom, a photo of myself, a bit of a description, some social media, and unsubscribe details there. So across the top here, you've got all of these sort of settings. You can actually design this from a template as well. So they have some embedded templates. So we're not seeing it because I'm editing an existing one, but if we created a new campaign, we would be presented with templates. So we can create just from a blank, or we can pick one of their predefined templates that we can then edit to make it look more for ourselves. So, you can change the colors, the links, the borders, all of this alignment, everything can be changed. And over here on the side is where you've got your elements here. So we can basically just drag any of these elements across and drop them wherever we want. We can drop them above, below, we can even drop them beside an item to create some columns. So we can drop any of that stuff there, images, buttons, videos, whatever you want. We can do all of that there. We can also save certain sections. So you'll see here, I've clicked in the text box. We automatically get this, so we can start doing that. We can add a hyperlink. We can do some personalization. We can even do some more advanced features down here. And even to show you here with a hyperlink, we can even add an action to that. So we might say if somebody clicks, so an action basically is if somebody clicks on that hyperlink. So if you put a hyperlink here, you could then do one of these functions. So you might say that you want to add a tag to that person to say that they clicked on the link. So that link might be to a sales page. And you might say, okay, well, if they click on that link, they've gone to my sales page, they're obviously interested in my product. So I'm going to tag it to say clicked on sales page or something like that. And then you can have an automation that then sends them some follow-up emails to say something like, oh, I noticed you looked at my product, but you didn't buy, blah, 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 right? Something like that. Or you can just create a hyperlink without any actions. Now, in each one of these items here, you can obviously change any of the settings there. So it's jumped over to options. You can change heights, colors, borders, padding, any of that. So it's all very powerful. But what you can also do is you can also click on here, you can duplicate, but you can also save it to a content library. So if you have a section, let's say this little sales box here. So you could actually save that to your content library. And then what happens is if you click out of anything, so you've got nothing selected, if you go to this saved section here, you'll see there's a whole heap of little items here that I have saved. So I could then say, okay, I saved that box under membership offer. And if I just drag it across, drop it, it will put that whole box there already pre-filled out with the hyperlinks, with all the actions, everything, just the whole thing exactly as it was when you saved it. You can click up to this gear here and do some settings here, change your subject line, who it's from. You can even do a test. It does a spam check as well, just a basic spam check to make sure that you've got no words in there that it thinks is going to be picked up by spam checkers. And you can do some previews as well to make sure it looks the way you want it to. And you can even send a test email to yourself to make sure it tests well. And then when you continue on to next, again, then you've got some more options here, and it shows you a bit of a summary. And it also shows you how you want to schedule it. So in the case of an RSS feed, it's going to check it however you want. So in my case here, I've got it to check every day. So whenever I create a new blog post, it will check every day to see if there's a new one. As soon as there's a new one, it will send an email out. You might want to limit that to every week or whatever you want. Or you can schedule them for a specific time. So I also have another one here, which is a monthly blog update. So this one is not an RSS. This is more of a recurring one, but it still uses an RSS. But what it does is it pulls the last four blog posts in RSS, but it's scheduled to send it at the start of a new month, so that it's highlighting the last month's blog posts for anybody that might have missed them as they were coming out. So you can create as many campaigns as you like for as many lists as you like. You can create them for all different lists. You can create lots of one-off campaigns. So if you've got a sale that's going on, like for instance here, end of year sale, you can just create an individual campaign and just send it off one time to whoever you want in your list. And let's say, for instance, you want to send that same, you can resend that same one, but if you want to send it again, but make some changes to say, 1 day left or something like that, then you can just click on duplicate and it will duplicate the whole thing. And then you just go through and edit it to what you want and then send it out. You can also save it as a template if you do this one times over and over again. And of course you can delete it.